Have you ever found yourself staring at a slow, outdated laptop while juggling spreadsheets, video calls, and a dozen browser tabs, only to realize your workday is grinding to a halt because your machine can't keep up? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of professionals are stuck with aging hardware that can't handle modern demands, forcing them to choose between productivity and performance. But what if there was a laptop that could crush those challenges without breaking the bank? Enter the Lenovo V15 Gen 5 business laptop, a machine that promises military-grade durability, blazing fast performance, and enterprise-level security, all at a price point that won't make your finance team scream. Today, we're putting this budget-friendly powerhouse through its paces to see if it lives up to the hype. Let's talk about the problem first. Most business laptops either fall into two camps. They're either overpriced flagships with features you'll never use, or they're budget models that feel like they were assembled in a garage. The V15 Gen 5 aims to split that difference, targeting professionals who need reliability without the premium price tag. Lenovo's pitch is simple: a laptop that's tough enough for field work, secure enough for corporate networks, and fast enough to handle your daily grind. But does it deliver? Let's find out. Right out of the box, the V15 Gen 5 makes a strong first impression. The chassis is clad in a matte black finish with a subtle Lenovo branding on the lid, giving it a professional look that won't scream cheap office equipment. The build quality feels solid. No creaky plastics or wobbly hinges here. At 3.7 pounds, it's not featherlight, but it's not a brick either, making it easy to toss into a bag for commutes or client meetings. The keyboard is a standout, with a comfortable key travel and backlighting that's bright enough for dimly lit offices. The touchpad is responsive, though not as large as some ThinkPad models, but it gets the job done without frustrating gestures. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood, because that's where the V15 Gen 5 really shines. Powering this machine is the Intel Core i7-240H processor, a 12-core beast that delivers serious performance for multitasking, data analysis, and even light content creation. Paired with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, you're looking at a system that can handle dozens of Chrome tabs, a virtual machine running in the background, and a full suite of Microsoft Office apps, all without breaking a sweat. Storage is handled by a lightning-fast 1TB pricier NVMe M.2 SSD, which means boot times are measured in seconds and large file transfers happen almost instantly. The display is a 15.6-inch FHD IPS panel with anti-glare coating, offering crisp visuals and wide viewing angles. It's not a 4K OLED, but for productivity tasks, it's more than adequate. But performance specs are just numbers on a page. Let's put this laptop through some real-world tests to see how it holds up. First up, multitasking. I loaded up the V15 Gen 5 with 20 Chrome tabs, Slack, Zoom, Excel with a 500 megabytes dataset, and a virtual machine running Windows 11. The system stayed smooth, with no lag or stuttering. The fans kicked in under heavy load, but they weren't obnoxiously loud, just a quiet hum that's easy to ignore. Next, I tested file transfers. Copying a 50 gigabytes folder of 4K video files took just under 90 seconds, which is impressive for a budget machine. Even video editing in Premiere Pro with a 1080p timeline ran without hiccups, though I'd recommend an external GPU if you're doing heavy 4K work. Security is another critical feature for business users, and the V15 Gen 5 doesn't disappoint. It's MIL-SPEC tested to 810H standards, meaning it can survive drops, vibrations, and extreme temperatures, ideal for professionals on the go. The fingerprint reader and TPM2.0 chip add an extra layer of protection, while Lenovo's Vantage software lets you manage security policies and updates with ease. The webcam is 720p, which isn't groundbreaking, but it's clear enough for video calls, and the dual-array microphone does a decent job filtering out background noise. Of course, no laptop is perfect, and the V15 Gen 5 has a few trade-offs. The battery life is decent at around 8 hours of mixed use, but don't expect all-day endurance if you're pushing the processor hard. The speakers are serviceable but tinny. fine for Zoom calls, but not for music lovers. And while the display is bright and clear, it's not a touchscreen, which might disappoint some users. Also, the port selection is a bit limited. You get 2 USB-A ports, one USB-C, HDMI, a headphone jack, and an SD card reader, but no Thunderbolt support. If you're used to daisy-chaining multiple monitors or high-speed peripherals, you might need an adapter. So how does the V15 Gen 5 stack up against the competition? Let's compare it to a few alternatives. The Dell Latitude 3540 is a strong contender, offering similar specs, but with a slightly better keyboard and longer battery life. However, it's often priced higher, especially with upgrades. The HP EliteBook 650 G10 is another option, with a more premium build and optional 4K display, but it's also more expensive. The Acer Swift 3 is a budget pick with comparable performance, but its build quality and security features don't match the V15 Gen 5. For the price, Lenovo's offering strikes a great balance between performance, durability, and affordability. So, who is the Lenovo V15 Gen 5 best for? If you're a business professional, remote worker, or student who need a reliable, fast, and secure laptop without overspending, this is a fantastic choice. It's not for gamers or creative professionals who need a high-end GPU or 4K display, but for everyday productivity, it's a workhorse. The military-grade durability means it can survive the rigors of travel, while the Intel Core i7 and 32 gigabytes of RAM ensure it won't slow you down. The only real downsides are the battery life under heavy load and the lack of Thunderbolt, but for most users, these are minor trade-offs. If you're ready to upgrade your workflow without breaking the bank, the Lenovo V15 Gen 5 business laptop is a no-brainer. It's available now through Lenovo's website and major retailers, with prices starting around $999 for this configuration. That's a steal for the performance and features you're getting. Don't let an outdated laptop hold you back. Click the link in the description to check it out and take your productivity to the next level. Your future self will thank you.